Okay, hello, friends. Our inaugural first episode of the new show format that we're doing, the Bartle Royale. Or it's the first 508 episodes of the first 23 seasons of The Simpsons. We've got a bracket, and we're gonna figure it out.
Yep, David found people to rank all 508 episodes, uh, and I was not one of them.
Yeah,
But as I am generally David's co-host, I am here again.
yeah. And you've seen a lot of episodes of The Simpsons. I'm sure. I have not seen all 508 of these.
I wonder if I've seen more than 200 of them, honestly,
Yeah, I mean, that's a
because
lot, right?
the last time I remember watching a brand new episode of The Simpsons
Right.
was Missionary Impossible, which is in season 11.
Wow.
And The Simpsons is only 7 years younger than I am,
Ah,
and I'm going to be 41 this year.
yeah. I think we tried doing the math one time and to figure out when it was. Then you stopped. There were more episodes of The Simpsons you hadn't seen than you had,
No,
and
at
that
this
would have
point for
happened.
sure,
Yeah.
because if I stopped watching new episodes in season 11,
Right.
and there's I believe 33
I think
seasons now.
so.
I
Good.
think this is the 33rd season right now. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think yeah, 89. I think was the first season. So there should be 34 seasons is what it's saying. Google.
Okay, yeah. Season 33 finished on May 22nd,
There you go.
2022.
Yeah. So they've started 34 now, but yeah.
Yeah.
So if you only got 11 into it, that means you've only seen a third of all the Simpsons. So that's like about 10 years. Yes, that would have been around 2000. And then you add
hmm
another 10 years on that. So it was still before Obama was elected when there were more episodes of The Simpsons that you hadn't seen than you had
hmm
pre Obama administration. And I'm similarly, because I watched it until I graduated from high school. I think I was watching regularly. So that would have been like 2003. So whatever that was. So season 13 ish. So yeah,
hmm
I'm only a couple of years. Only got a couple more years of Simpsons watching than you do, I think. And then I don't know if I saw a new episode until they started putting them on Hulu, in the last 5 years or something. That I would just randomly watch one every once in a while to keep up with the Halloween episodes.
hmm there should really be like some kind of shuffler device for that, where it's just like, yeah, random Simpsons, here you go.
Yeah, I saw on Reddit years ago when I was still looking through Reddit every once in a while. I was on a Raspberry Pi Reddit, what is it, subreddit, and someone had made like a Simpsons button. They would just push and it would randomly select an episode of The Simpsons for them to watch. That was,
Please tell me that if it was a Raspberry Pi machine, they made it look like
yeah.
Super Nintendo Chalmers.
They should have. I think it was just like in a little case, and then there's the button. The button was the big thing. It's just like a big red button.
hmm
That was the important part.
That's really fun though.
Yeah, so that's gonna be. I'm gonna figure out how to start programming it. I do have a computer science degree and don't know how to program very well at all. But I want to learn how to do
You have
a
a
command
computer
on
science
Twitch.
degree? I thought you were a
Yeah.
linguist.
Oh yeah, professionally I'm a linguist, but my degree is in computer science. And I
Yeah,
barely
okay.
do either.
Yeah, I have a degree in computer networking, and I'm a paralegal.
Yeah, but everybody uses computers for their
hmm
jobs, so it's not like we can say that we had something to do with our jobs, I guess. But
Yeah, I'm like the third level backup
yeah,
in the office, where it's just like, okay, our main in-house IT guy is not here.
right.
Let's ask the lawyer that's in charge of our IT problems if
Ah,
this is something that we should call support desk for, or
right.
if it's something that he thinks Chad can take care of.
Yeah. Like Chad, you have glasses. You can figure this out. You're
Mhm.
younger than other people, the older people,
I mean, I'm younger
relatively young.
than the oldest people in the
Yeah.
office, but like there are people younger than me that are making partner at my firm.
Right. Ah. Well, we're in that weird age gap as older millennials where we grew up in worlds with computers and learned how to use computers, whereas younger people they've just had phones and iPads and stuff, so they don't really know how the computer itself works. So we're in
hmm
that sweet spot.
Yeah,
Jeez.
it's you put a DOS prompt in front of 20, they're just gonna be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
And you do that to a someone who's like 38, and they're gonna go, "What the fuck do you want me to do with this? I don't remember." Like DIR.
Yeah. There you go. You can always
Uh,
Google stuff too. Yeah.
uh, that's not what we're talking about today. We're
Or
talking
not.
about 2 episodes of The Simpsons. We are comparing them.
Yeah.
The 2 episodes are, Lisa the Greek, which
Yeah.
was season 3, episode 14, and Marge Gets a Job. And, uh, but at the end of this episode, we are going to say one is definitively better.
Yes. And that one will move on and to round two, and we'll get to round two in about 5 years. So
Mhm,
we'll get figure out what the next matchup is there. And anyone who's looked at the bracket will say, "Hey, wait, this isn't the first number one matchup on the bracket. The number one matchup on the bracket is actually um, something else. Forgot something versus a bye because they had the top four episodes got a bye week for the first round, and we're not going to talk about them until we get to round two."
oh, that's why we're not doing, 512 episodes.
Right, because it would be weird just to do like the first four episodes of season 2024. I
Mhm.
feel like that would be weird. So we're just gonna
Unfair to the rest of season 24.
yeah, and it's the top four episodes. I think were just the like there were a lot that were kind of tied for like 5 stars, and it was just I think they're the four like
The most
chronologically.
the
I
most
think
highly ranked, based on all of the, surveys that you put out?
yeah, and it was only me and one other guy on the Simpsons Discord that took the time, the hours it took to rate all of them because I made it so you have to rate all of them, otherwise, people would only rate that first the first 10 seasons or so. Lisa's Substitute was our number one seed, so moves on to round two automatically.
Mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
the reason why I didn't finish was because I was just like, "I don't know how to rank all of these." Like, it would have literally been like, doing my best to rank the first, 11 seasons, and then everything else would have been like, "What number episode is this?" That's the rank.
Yeah, it's basically what it is. I was just kind of like, yeah. I didn't rank very many. I don't think I ranked anything under a three. I was like, if I could remember it, then I gave it a 4 or 5 stars. No, I couldn't remember it, then it was three. Or I was just guessing based off the title whether or not it was
Mhm.
something I would want to watch. 14, season 3, episode 14.
Anyway, so, the first episode that we are discussing is Lisa the Greek.
Oh, perfect
Uh,
timing.
that is the episode where Homer discovers that Lisa is super good at figuring out what teams are going to win. Football
Yeah,
teams.
and real football teams. It wasn't like made up teams. It was actually they're using the cities and the real names of the teams. I don't know if they
Hmm.
can get away with doing that anymore.
Yeah, did they actually say the word Super Bowl in this episode?
It did, yeah. That was another thing that was surprising. They kept saying
I
Super Bowl. Like, ooh,
Yeah, I feel like they definitely stopped doing that
yeah,
because every TV show now just refers to it as the big game.
yeah. Because the NFL won't let you use the word term Super Bowl for some reason without paying them. I guess.
Hmm.
I wonder who's paying for
I I still don't understand how that's something that you can do. Where it's
that.
like you can't even mention the words. It's just like, I mean, but I understand that the law is not what is fair, right, or
Yeah.
actually
Right.
judicial. It is
Yeah.
about what is provable, and people with more money can prove more things,
Yeah. And you are
or
you are
at
the
least
show's
make it
legal expert.
more difficult for poorer people to prove it.
Yeah. That's because the people that get to write the laws are also people that benefit from them the most. So that's
Hmm.
interesting.
That's the way the system works.
It's not a system otherwise. But yeah.
Yeah. So the couch gag for
Yeah.
this
Oh
episode,
yeah, yeah,
starting right at the top. Uh, Homer pulls Santa's little helper out from underneath him after they
yeah,
sit on the couch. Which, as far as couch gags go, it's like this is like a reasonable thing for a couch gag,
yeah,
rather than any of the crazy surrealistic things that have ever happened.
yeah. Especially like in the more modern times, it really becomes the whole thing. Like they're trying
Like
to
the one
get
where it turns into an episode of Rick and Morty.
yeah. And I think there's also like a Bob's Burgers one and other
Hmm.
ones where like, oh, it's like a 5 minute long couch gag because they, you know, it's a fun creative thing to do, and it also gets more whatever articles written about it on Facebook or whatever, which is
Hmm.
important now.
I mean, that's the audience that they're targeting with The Simpsons, right? Because
Yeah.
it's certainly not young people. Otherwise, they'd be on the Tiki Talkies.
Yeah. Like Simpsons TikToks.
I'm sure that there are Simpsons TikToks.
They have to be.
Yeah.
I'm too old
Uh,
to be on TikTok, so I don't know. They have
yeah. I don't think there's such a thing as too old to be on TikTok
to.
because you don't have to actually participate. You can always
That's
just
true.
watch things passively.
Yeah. And it's an easy thing to watch stuff on, I think. I just kind of autoplays stuff, I guess.
Hmm. So the actual
But yeah.
opening of the episode, they have a weird futuristic
Yeah.
animation of two football players running at each other, and then one of them gets their head clotheslined off by the other.
Yeah.
But that weird, like super, like what is that called? The weird shaped things, like from the N64 and Lawnmower
Oh,
Man and
right.
whatnot.
Like the polygon type
Yeah,
graphics. Yeah.
yeah. Um, that's what it kind of looked like, and I'm trying to remember if that's like referencing like any particular thing, or if it's
Hmm.
just a general like, yeah, that's what people thought was cool then.
Yeah. So I
Like,
don't.
I don't remember actually what the opening of George Michael's Sports Machine looked like, but that would be the right era, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
that's also a thing that you can't say to young people because they're going to be like the singer if they even
Yeah.
know who George Michael is.
I do not. I was thinking, yeah, the singer, who I was reminded of that he died like it's
Hmm.
been like 6 or 7 years already.
Yeah,
But,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He his last Christmas was several Christmases ago,
Yeah. But yeah,
but
because
we
this
still
was
play Whamageddon every year.
yeah, and I almost made it until like a couple of days ago. I had
This
neighbors in my
was
house.
one of the shortest ones,
Yeah,
I think. Wait, what do you mean a couple of days ago? Christmas is done.
yeah, but it's still they're still being played somewhere. I think on the radio or something. I heard it. So I guess I
People are
guess I,
still
I
playing.
technically won because it was after Christmas. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Once you make it to Christmas, you win.
aha! Put that in my Twitter bio. I'm gonna restart my
Yeah,
Twitter account to put that on my Twitter
yeah. You should put down every year that you've won as like
bio.
an account. Put that on your resume, man.
Yeah, we'll
And
get to resumes in a minute.
next thing you got to do is you got to do the uh, Mariah Apocalypse.
Oh, that's a tough one.
See if you can avoid All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Yeah, that's yeah, that feels impossible. You just can't go shopping in person, which yeah, who does that
Mm.
anymore?
No radio, no shopping.
Yeah.
Don't enter stores. But yeah,
But, yeah, because I was thinking this episode, it came out January 24th, 1992. So
mhm,
I had just turned 7 years old. And yeah, I don't have a lot of memories of what like the NFL's intros and outros and graphics and stuff were at the time. I know later on, they did transition to having like that CGI robot football player guy. That was the
mhm.
big mascot for at least for
Cletus.
Fox. Yeah.
His name is Cletus. Cleatus. It's spelled like a
Right.
football cleat.
Yeah. Like a
Not
clean.
not like Cletus the Slackjawed Yokel.
Right. It's also a Simpsons thing.
Mhm. I am seriously going to run out of things that I can reference about The Simpsons very soon. Uh, but yeah, so this is a really fun episode. I don't know if they've ever continued uh, with Mo being a bookie, or if it was just a thing that happened in this
Yeah.
episode.
I think like random like black market type of like underground scumbaggery he's
Hmm.
into. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him doing more bets and stuff. But also like smuggling panda bears is a thing he does at one point.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, he
counterfeit
does all
beans.
kinds of random criminal things,
Yeah.
but I don't I don't think I've ever seen him be a bookie except for this one.
Yeah, because there's not a lot more gambling episodes. think I can think of off the top of my head. I know there's the one with the casino. That's about it. So this might have been pre Fat Tony.
Yeah,
So he
that's
probably did
also
say
true.
the once Fat Tony was in the town, the mob they take over all the gambling.
Hmm. At that point, the best thing that Mo could do is just run numbers.
Yeah, and then pay Fat Tony the vig.
Hmm.
You ever gamble on football?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've never won a sports bet in my entire life.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I'm like the opposite of Lisa in this episode.
Just do that thing when you give your dad that sports betting advice. He just has to do the opposite, and then he'll
Hmm.
always win.
Like I've called a decent number of basketball games correctly,
Yeah.
but football is just like the only time I can get them right is if I'm doing a parlay, and that's the one where you have to have all correct guesses.
Uh,
Otherwise, you don't get anything.
right. So yeah,
Uh,
I think I've
so
made a couple of random bets like at Super Bowl parties just because you're
yeah,
there,
you
you're
might
just
as well.
doing it. Yeah, but I've never
Well,
been like a fantasy football guy or anything like that.
mm, I was into fantasy football like for I want to say maybe about like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
I got like super into it, and then all of a sudden I was just like, meh. Like before I was into fantasy football, uh, it was something where it's just like I don't understand how any of that works, and once I figured out how it works, I'm like, this is amazing, I love it. And uh, year after year, I would stop caring about it roughly 6 weeks in.
Nah.
That was
Oh,
the biggest problem that I had with fantasy football because uh, after about 6 weeks in, I'm like, I'm not keeping track of this anymore.
right. Yeah, it's a big commitment to have to do all that stuff. And if you're not kicking ass at it, then it's kind of
Yeah,
fun.
I would say like drafting's super fun.
Yeah,
After that, it's just like, whatever.
it's the fun part. It's like building a character in Dungeons and Dragons or something,
Hmm. Although actually playing Dungeons and Dragons is
right?
probably more fun than setting up a lineup for fantasy football every
Yeah,
weekend. Uh, I really like this episode.
yeah,
I, I like any episode where Homer actually is a good person,
yeah. He's
and
like
I
learning.
feel like the longer that or not the longer, but the later that the episode is,
Right.
the less chance of it actually being Homer ends up being a good person, and the higher chance of it being Homer lucks out in the end somehow.
Yeah. And I mean, and I was also thinking like how his schemes they get crazier and crazier as they
Hmm.
go on. Like this one is just, oh yeah, he's making football bets on Sundays. Like that's a dad thing to do. And then he
Hmm.
gets his daughter involved with it. And she's not even like crazy good with calculations or anything. She just she recognizes that the Raiders cheat and that
Hmm.
kind of stuff.
And he's not gambling like obscene amounts of money either.
Yeah. He
Like
only won 50 bucks.
he's spending like $50 to $100 a game, which
Yeah.
I mean, over the course of the season, if you're betting on every game, that's
Yeah.
going to add up.
Oh yeah.
But if you're dropping like $200 a week on gambling, it's like the- it's not necessarily going to cripple your family.
Right. Although we do learn in the next episode, they only have $500 in the bank.
Hmm.
So spent gambling half of your life savings. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's not a great idea.
Yeah.
But there was one a gag that I really liked
Mm.
where Lisa said, I would put my college money on it." So Homer is like, "Yeah, $12."
Yeah. Good. Yeah, there's that one, and then there's a really great one because the B story in this one is it's not much of anything. It's Bart and Marge go and buy him clothes, and then he gets made fun of for the clothes. It's like half of
Hmm.
the episode, and then later on he just has he gets his little swearing machine from Homer. But when they
Hmm.
when they go clothes shopping and she's getting him all these clothes on sale, and he's like, "Oh, you know why all these clothes are on sale? It's because whoever wears them is going to get beaten up." And then Marge, doing one of my favorite Marge bits, is like, "Well, anyone who will beat you up for wearing a shirt isn't your friend." It's like, yeah, that's the whole point. I just like when Marge is just like a lame, oblivious mom. I'm like, "Oh, this is
Hmm.
great. This is a good joke." But yeah, a lot of good bits in this
Oh, another piece of antiquity
one.
from this episode. Uh, they had 1-900 tip lines
Oh yeah, those
for
things. Yeah.
what who you should bet on, and uh, like that's one of those things where it's just like, do these even exist anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I think they don't like not like that. It's probably
Now it's websites and newsletters that
yeah
you're signing up
website. Yeah, I was
for.
thinking like newsletters, that kind of thing. You
Hmm.
pay someone to send you an email once a week or whatever. Or podcasts. I bet there's like Patreon podcasts where they get so-called experts on there that are right
Hmm.
52% of the time.
Hmm. I feel like that's probably a good for a recurring thing to
Yeah,
talk about. Is like, oh, here's a thing that no longer exists.
yeah, yeah. This is a great thing. We're talking about this episode literally 1992. That was 30 years ago.
Hmm.
There's all kinds of stuff. That's the other thing is that they keep talking
Well,
about the
31 now, actually.
oh yeah, yeah, because it'll be 31 in just a couple of weeks.
Hmm.
Crazy. But I think they were accurate to that year. I think it was Washington versus Buffalo for the Super Bowl in that time period. I think so, like in early '90s. That was it happened a couple of times, but they
Well,
keep using
I know
stuff.
Buffalo got there like 5 times.
Yeah, and didn't win ever.
Yeah. Speaking of Buffalo, prayers out to Buffalo
Oh
and
yeah, it's nuts.
player who went down today.
Oof.
Like, crazy story.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was it's always nice when there is like a heartwarming thing that happens on The Simpsons, and
yeah,
it's not just Homer abusing Bart.
yeah. Which I don't think he's allowed to choke him anymore. I think it's a thing that they get rid of.
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. Well, another thing that it's a good thing, but when I was watching a recent episode of The Simpsons, maybe from like a year or two ago, like Dr. Hibbert, his voice
Mm,
is different now because they changed the rule. Like, oh, we're not going to have white people doing the voices of non-white characters anymore. So now there's an actual black man doing the voice. But yeah, that's good. It's a good thing.
mhm.
Yeah, it was just sounded weird because wasn't keeping up with my Simpsons news.
Give more people of color jobs,
Yeah.
and take more jobs away from Hank Azaria. I don't know if Hank Azaria was Dr. Hibbert. I
Yeah.
just assume that he's everyone who I don't know the name of.
Yeah. Well, I think if it's a more of a racial stereotype, you get a lot more Hank Azaria in there. But I think it was Harry Shearer. I think, which is just I think we'll figure all this out. We'll get to know
Mhm.
who plays who as we go
Yep.
along. But the thing I wanted to say, speaking of the racial stuff, it's they kept saying the name of Washington's football team at the time, and like, oof, it's it sounds so weird to hear anybody say that word out loud. You're like, man, like that's the one context where we're used to hearing it, but it's still just such a weird thing. And they kept it in. Like, you think eventually they're going to dub that over or something?
No, when they do, I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of people on the internet who are very, very upset about it.
Yeah, can't do anything on the internet without people getting upset about
Mhm.
it. Yeah, I do
Uh,
think that it was very funny that when they decided to change their name, they just didn't have a name for the team for like 2 years or something.
I honestly was disappointed when they finally did decide on the name. I
Right.
thought that Washington football team felt kind of classy.
Yeah, I liked it. They should have kept with it.
Mhm.
They had to have made merch and stuff to sell the stadiums and things, right? They just say Washington football team on them.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
figured that
this right?
they held on to it long enough to just sell a bunch of just Washington merch.
Yeah,
And then after the numbers started to go down, they're like, all right, now we'll be the Commanders.
yeah.
I think that that's what they are now.
I think so. Yeah, I don't know the last time I watched a football game was. So, but yeah, I don't even watch the Super Bowl anymore. Yeah. Well, I might one day, if you ever get invited to a Super Bowl party, that ever happens in person again. I guess I'll go.
I The chances of you actually paying attention to football at the Super Bowl party
That's
is
true. You're
not
just there for
super high.
the commercials and the food.
Like most people that go to Super Bowl parties don't give a shit about football.
Yeah, it's it's
Or
it's weird to be the guy sitting there watching the game the whole time.
mhm. there, there's gonna be like four uncles sitting around the TV that care about it and just want everyone to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's like don't come to a party then if you want to sit quietly and watch the TV.
Mhm. Oh, they're not going to be quiet, but they
Right.
want everyone else and stop running in front of the TV.
Yeah,
Make a better door than a window.
that's a good thing to say to people.
That is what my grandpa always used to tell me whenever I would stand in front of the television
Yeah.
because I wanted to tell him something. Which is actually how this episode started. Was
Yeah.
Lisa standing in front of the TV trying to talk to Homer.
Yeah, and she's got her shoebox apartment she made for Malibu Stacy, and I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure this is the first appearance of Malibu Stacy in the show.
It could be. I mean,
Yeah,
season 3 is real early.
yeah. I checked on the Simpsons. I couldn't find an earlier reference to it, but I did pull a clip, a Malibu Stacy related clip from when Lisa finally decides to give up all her Malibu Stacy stuff that Homer was getting her with their dirty money. I'll watch
Mhm.
this real quick.
Look around you, Malibu Stacy. All this was bought with dirty money. Your penthouse, your Alfa Romeo, your collagen injection clinic. You're going back into the shoebox. It may not be pretty, but damn it, it's honest. I, Lisa Simpson, am hereby giving away all my ill-gotten Malibu Stacy accessories.
There's a space shuttle in there.
Look, Lisa, I bought you a Malibu Stacy chinchilla coat.
So yeah, chinchilla coats, fur coats. That's a weird thing to see. I saw that in some '80s movie recently. I was like, oh, it's so weird to see people wearing fur.
Mhm. I think that the people still wear fur nowadays. It's
Mm.
mostly meant to either be a symbol of them being like old money kind of people,
Yeah,
or it's thrifted.
right. Yeah, if it's old, actual physically old fur that yeah, it's one
Mhm.
thing. But yeah, or being so rich you don't care,
Yeah.
just rubbing it in everyone's faces. Yeah.
Uh,
My nose.
Anything else that we got to say about this one?
We do get to see future Lisa, which are like a lot of my favorite episodes are the ones where they go to we see them in the future. And this is when future Lisa is at a blackjack table smoking cigarettes and talking about how she's been a gambler her whole life and gambling away her jewelry and things. No, that's fun. It's an interesting thing to see that. Oh, and they have my favorite jokes are this a running gag of Homer Villain saying something like, "Oh, is in there something in the Bible about how gambling's okay?" And Lisa goes, where does it say that in the Bible? And he goes, it's somewhere in the back. And
Mhm.
I'm always ready to say that whenever someone asks me about something that I made up. But it's very rarely ever get to use it, but I always want to.
I wasn't sure whether or not that was a running gag because they have that in Marge Gets a Job also,
Yeah,
where Homer again quoted the Bible wrong, and Marge's like, I don't think that's in there.
I think it's in there somewhere. I think it's what he says instead of yeah, I think he just says it's in there instead of
Mhm.
somewhere in the back. But I think it's somewhere. It's another episode. I think in church where he says it or something like that. At least it's stuck in my head as a thing to say. But yeah, it's another thing. Just referencing the Bible all the time, like that's a thing that people should do. The Simpsons and their Christianity fluctuates throughout the series.
Gonna send you over a Frankiak meme
Cool.
copy. And why is this not pasting?
Yeah, Frankie Eck is great for me to make a joke that my wife doesn't understand, and I pull it up, the reference in Frankie Eck, so that she can she understands. Oh, okay, it's from The Simpsons. It doesn't make her enjoy it anymore, but at least she knows what I'm talking about.
I swear Facebook Messenger used to let me paste images in here.
Yeah, I thought you sent messages on there before. Well, you figured that out. The other thing I wanted to mention was we see the French guys when they're talking about how they're broadcasting all over the world. That's a fun little Easter egg. And at the when Homer's watching the Super Bowl at the end of the episode, and he's like, "Oh well, I've got it doesn't matter. Money comes and goes, but I've got this time that I can spend with my daughter. It's gonna last 8 more years." And so that was him foreshadowing that The Simpsons is gonna last at least until the year 2000. Like you said, that was 23 years ago. So I don't want to do that math on how old everybody is, but I think Bart's supposed to be our age, and Homer's would be our dad's ages. Of everybody,
Sure, I guess.
well,
I
don't.
I don't know. I all I know is that I'm older now than when The Simpsons first started.
Yeah,
How old Homer was.
yeah. I think it might also be. I closed Facebook, so I can't even see the thing you're going to send me. But yeah, that's at least the Greek. Also, the Gilded Truffle when they go to the fancy restaurant with all their gambling winnings. Some fun stuff there. With the waiter introduces himself, and like, "I'll be your waiter," and Homer goes, "Oh, I'll be your customer." It's very fun dad joke stuff. And Bart looks at the wine list and goes, this won't do at all. Just bring us your freshest bottle of wine." That's funny. I want to do that.
It is very annoying that I can't show it to you.
It's cool. Well, just describe it, and then we'll figure it out, and I'll just draw it on how many way of drawing it.
Hold on.
Or forget. Oh, you can just post the URL, right?
Well, that would assume that I still had it open on Frinkiac.
Oh, I see.
I downloaded it and pasted it into a Google Doc so that I could easily share it with you
Ah,
during the source during the podcast, which is annoying happening.
yeah. Well, you can always, that's what I was gonna say. You can just screen share here. So
Mhm.
Oh yeah, this bit where he asked her to promise not to get mad. She's like, "I promise I will get mad because I always do when you make me promise I won't." And then that comes back later on when he goes, "You promised you wouldn't get mad." She goes, "No, I promised I would get mad."
Uh-huh.
Good. So good.
That was absolutely my favorite part of this episode. And since I'm already screen sharing, I may as well scroll down to my favorite part of Marge Gets a Job.
Oh yeah, this is good. Show this woman the time of her life. Gotcha, Marge. We're getting some drive-through, and then we're doing it twice. I always feel like it's more of a treat for the man than for the lady, but I think that's just my own low self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that was Lisa the Greek. I think that's everything I have to say about that.
Yeah, the only other thing on my notes was beer bottle commercial.
Oh yeah, the Duff Bowl.
Again, very very archaic.
Yeah, they don't still do that with the Budweisers.
I don't think so. I mean, they should.
Yeah,
because there's all different kinds now.
Yeah, that's right. They could do a whole league.
Yeah, or at the very least, the playoffs.
Yeah, do like they could try making their own bracket, a beer kit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's always weird to me when beer racket. When companies they have their various brands of the company like are in competition, like Coke and Diet Coke and Coke Zero are somehow in competition. That feels weird to me. You think they would want you to buy all of it?
I think Coke and Coke. I think Diet Coke and Coke Zero are in competition.
Yeah.
I don't think regular Coke is in competition with either one of those.
Yeah. I don't want to remind people about it. Yeah,
but yeah, so second episode was Marge Gets a Job, season 4, episode 7.
Yeah. That's the one where it could also be called Marge Gets Sexually Harassed.
Mhm.
which the Simpsons wiki does start off with a content warning at the top saying that there's sexual references that may be disturbing in this description
Mhm.
of the episode. Is fair.
It also has a full title sequence, which the
Yeah,
previous episode did not. We only got the couch gag basically.
right. Yeah.
This one we get the chalkboard and everything all the way up to the couch gag, which was everyone's heads being on different people. So uh, I don't want to say right now which episode is winning between the two of them. But as far as the couch gags go, uh, definitely prefer the first one.
Oh, you for the first one. That's more
Yeah.
kind of realistic.
Hmm.
Everybody sits in their dog once in a while.
Yeah.
They have the heads. I like the head swap. So I think it might be cross voting here. Also, I was going to mention the Bart blackboard gag, but I don't know if there was one for Lisa the Greek. It's not showing on the wiki. I don't remember
No,
what it was.
I'm pretty sure Lisa the Greek didn't have a full title sequence.
Oh, they even skipped the Bart
Hold on,
blackboard
let
thing.
me let me go back and
Yeah, go look at that because it's not showing on the wiki, and I believe it. I guess it's strange that they would do that, but I guess you know what? It was before they knew that this had to be there. You know, they just had to get to the all the football shenanigans of the episode.
mhm.
So yeah, when they do the full length opening titles versus the shorter ones, that means that there's less episode, right? They're just giving themselves an extra 70 seconds or something.
Yeah,
But it always felt to me watching it like, oh, this is going to be. I'm more excited because I'm getting to see the whole thing, and not thinking about how I'm actually getting less episode. Like
yeah.
if you're doing,
It literally goes from The Simpsons, and then the P.
right.
You can see the garage door.
Oh wow, it's super short. I'm not
Mhm.
wasting any time.
But yeah, so this episode
Yeah.
was it was fun.
Yeah.
It had um this is definitely before the first annual Montgomery Burns Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence, right?
I think so.
Because
Feels like
this also has a song and dance number
yeah,
specifically about Mr. Burns.
yeah. And this is a good one for like the building up of what who Smithers is and what his whole deal is.
Hmm.
He's basically a Burnso-sexual. Who's now his crazy obsession with Mr. Burns. I think so. I was thinking about it, watching this is like this may have been the first time I was really aware of like not just gay men, but like yeah, the fact that a man can be in love with another man. Not just like the fact that there were gay people, but like there were actual like oh yeah, you can have real romantic feelings about another man.
Hmm.
So I pulled the Smithers Dream sequence and watched that.
I dreamed about her again last night, Smithers. You know that dream where you're in bed and they fly in through the window?
Yeah, that's all.
The my favorite Gay Smithers gag is still the computer.
That's-
You really know how to
yeah.
turn me on. Also, the first annual Montgomery Burns Award for Outstanding
Hmm.
Achievement in the Field of Excellence was from season 3, episode 24.
Oh, okay. So that's pretty close.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
so they couldn't even get through another whole season without doing another song and dance number about Mr.
Yeah.
Burns.
I figure someone was just pitching those constantly. Just had a bug in their ear about it. Because I feel like this is the same restaurant on the inside as the one where they also have. It's like Mr. Burns' birthday, and they get the Ramones to play, and they call him an old bastard or something. And then he says, "Well, have the Rolling Stones killed," which is very fun. I feel like it's all in the same room, like that in the award ceremony, all these things. So I wonder what that means about Mr. Burns that he likes this busted up railroad restaurant, which is a fun idea too.
I think the Montgomery Burns Award was it was at like the Springfield Civic Center
No, okay,
is what it says on the Simpsons wiki.
right. Yeah, so this is the episode where we find out that the Simpsons house is sinking, right? And they have to raise $8,500 to fix the foundation, which seems very cheap to fix your when half of your house is sinking down to the ground like that. But also that
But
was
this was also
1982
in
going.
1993. Yeah,
Yeah,
like my parents bought a townhouse in Pearl City for less than $100,000 in
wow.
the early 90s.
Yeah,
We've since lost it, but
right.
yeah.
Yeah, so paying, almost 10% of the value of your home. I guess that makes sense for a foundation repair.
hmm
Yeah, and they go to the retirement party. So Mervyn makes it all about himself. Oh, I like when they're they get on the news because their house is all slanted and there's all a bunch of people and tourists outside taking pictures and stuff. And then Bart does his carnival barker thing and see all the freaks of the slanty shanty. And anytime he kind of does that kind of thing and presents Homer as some sort of freak, it's always fun. I think he calls him Cue Ball, the man with no hair, something like that. And then he just plays into it. And he goes, ah, ah, ah. And some lady calls him hideous. Very funny. Yeah, and then while they're so then Marge gets a job. Her resume just says homemaker, like from 1992 to present or something. So then Lisa has to zhuzh it up, or a seamstress and a chauffeur and all kinds of things. And then also starts adding stuff about speaking Swahili.
Which apparently Smithers also does. And when Marge gets confused, he's like, I guess I'm just not as good at you as Swahili. Which I think is a very good excuse for why you don't understand when someone is speaking a language that you're supposed to know. It's just like,
Yeah,
oh, your accent is so bad, I
right.
couldn't tell what it was.
Yeah, especially
You were just butchering it.
when they're not a native speaker, you can totally get away with that. Like, oh yeah, okay, I see what you were trying to say. Yeah, you just said it wrong because you're American accent. That's all.
The other one was when she was like, "Oh, what do I do?" And Smithers was like, "Well, you should know. You invented this machine."
Yeah, and then one of my favorite gags is just randomly pushes a button and then people catch on fire. It's like, oops, didn't mean to do that.
There's so many buttons at the Springfield nuclear power plant, and there's not a Simpsons who knows what any of them do.
Yeah, but multiple Simpsons work there at any given time. Yeah, so then Bart has they got Grandpa Simpson taking care of the kids while the parents are working. And he's got all kinds of crazy. Should have wrote down when he's trying to figure out what was wrong with Maggie. She just wanted her bottle, but then he pulls out his old timey medicine book and just names crazy old diseases. That was fun. Should have wrote those down.
I also like the bag of leeches to make
Yeah.
Bart feel better. There's one of those where it's like, is the gag going to be that Bart realizes that he was better off staying in school?
Yeah, there's no parasites sucking your blood at school.
But instead, they literally made him the boy who cried wolf.
That's so good. Yeah. Someone had to pitch that and say, hey, this is basically the boy who cried wolf. We should have him attacked by an actual wolf. So good.
Which is really good.
Yeah.
I also really liked when Krabappel asked him, Bart, have you read The Boy Who Cried Wolf? And he said, I'm halfway through.
Good. Yeah,
Good Bart gags.
Yeah. Those are the things you do when someone questions you in your line. You either say it's somewhere in the back or you're halfway through it. A lot of book related stuff. But yeah.
And I don't know how early in the timeline of Groundskeeper Willie him tearing off his shirt to wrestle something this is.
Yeah. I feel like this has got to be probably the first one. I didn't look it up, but I feel like I can't think of any time it would have been before that. Because the one where
But
they
I
steal the
know that
earl,
that
like,
one is a recurring thing.
yeah,
Not the best groundskeeper Willie meme, but definitely a thing that happened repeatedly.
yeah. I think the next big one is when Homer and Bart steal all the grease from the school, but that's season 10. So I want to say this is the first one. I think the first one's stuck in my memory, and I did pull the clip from that. So I'll watch that real quick.
Hey, Wolfie, put down that hors d'oeuvre. It's time for the main course. Back to class, lad. Nothing to see here.
All right now, boy. We've got to rub some garlic on you before the next full moon.
Don't feel bad for losing. I was wrestling wolves back when you were at your mother's teat.
Times. So he has to give him an anti-werewolf home remedy. So very funny. Also, he puts a thermometer up his butt. I think that's fun.
Hmm. The bit where the bird was attacking Krusty was also pretty funny.
Oh yeah. She goes, "Oh, I think he must think that you're after his eggs."
I only ate one.
Good. That was good. Yeah. It looks very painful having those talons digging into his skull. Good
Mhm.
stuff. What does that say? Tube dam. What does that mean? I cannot understand my notes. I do like that Bart starts his essay with Ivanhoe is the story of a man and his tool.
A farmer and his tool,
Yeah,
I
it's a
think,
farmer and his tool. Yeah.
because it's Ivan and his hoe.
Yeah. Did you ever read Ivanhoe? I don't think I ever.
I did not.
Yeah.
I could not tell you the first thing about what it's about.
Sounds Russian. Maybe it's just because the name Ivan. So.
It's a romance, actually.
No.
Ivanhoe, A Romance by Walter Scott, is a historical novel published in 3 volumes in 1819 as one of the Waverley novels. Set in England in the Middle Ages, this novel marked a shift away from Scott's prior practice of setting stories in Scotland and in the more recent past. Ivanhoe became one of Scott's best known and most influential novels.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Add that to our book club list. It's like there's somebody who like made all of the different burgers that they have, like the burger of the day and Bob's Burgers on the chalkboard.
Hmm.
I think if anyone's taking the time to read every book that gets mentioned of The Simpsons, and that'd be like the most boring way to experience The Simpsons extended universe. Probably. I guess if you like books, it's probably not so bad.
I think that what would be a better way is to write all of the fictional books
Oh
that are
yeah,
mentioned in The Simpsons.
I'd love to do that.
Mhm.
Like
Like-
all the movies and stuff.
Oh yeah, no, it would be so great if you actually knew someone who did a really good Phil Hartman,
Oh yeah.
and then you just like made every movie that Troy McClure was ever in.
Yeah. Yeah, we get some good Troy McClure stuff in the, at least the Greek when he's talking about his sitcom he's got to do.
Hmm.
That's fun. Then we got him here as the lawyer, Lionel Hutz,
Hmm.
runs away when he finds out that Mr. Burns has 10 high-priced lawyers. He just runs away. Does that ever happen in your experience with lawyers that if one team of lawyers is just that much bigger or more expensive than the other ones will just run away?
No, they usually don't run away. They just stop answering things
No.
like letters, emails, the telephone.
Right. Yeah, that's when you've been no. That's it.
Sometimes you just know how outclassed you are.
Right. Yeah. Once you've established the dominance, then what are they going to do? It's like dogs or wolves.
Yeah. Then they just have to drink whiskey out of the palm of your hand.
That may have been the first time I heard someone say the word teat on TV as well. The first time I saw a shirtless man's abs, and then the first time I heard someone say the word teat on TV, and then saw a man fantasizing about another man. These were a lot of firsts for me. 1992.
Lot of weird, not exactly sexual, but sexual adjacent things happening to you in 1992
Yeah,
on
yeah.
television. Like not happening to
Just
you,
The
but
Simpsons, I
happening
think.
in front of you on
Yeah,
TV.
just learning. I'm having all kinds of awakenings through watching The Simpsons. Yeah, so I was looking at the seating. By the way, these are episodes. These two episodes are seated number 256 and 257. So right dead smack in the middle of the rankings, the seating. That's why it's our number two.
Wow, these were ranked dead middle.
Yeah, which I think there were probably a lot of ones that had the same score, and it was just chronologically they're pretty close together. January and
Okay.
1992. So when I sorted them, this is just kind of how it came out. I didn't try to randomize past that. Maybe I should have. I don't know. We'll see. 'Cause I
Okay,
think
because I was just like, damn, if these are the dead middle, like what a wonderful project this is going to be,
yeah.
because it means half of them are better than these. Yeah, these are good.
Yeah, these were good ones. I
Hmm.
like it. Yeah, like I said, they're both season 3 and 4, like right in there, in that sweet spot of Golden Age Simpsons.
I feel like seasons 3 and 4 is like around like the just hit the stride.
Yeah, just kind of figuring it out.
Hmm. Like I think season 2 was right right as they were figuring it out.
Yeah,
So 3 and 4 is just like, yeah, we've just got into the swing of things, and now it's gonna be all home runs. I was
yeah,
gonna say all homers, but that comes later. That
yeah.
comes with like season like 27.
That's something like that.
Just oops, all homers.
Yeah, where everybody just is homers, which is the opposite of the no homers club. Where
Hmm.
you're allowed to have one homer. Looking forward to that one. Yeah. Anything else we want to say about Marge Gets a Job? Oh, this we see Tom Jones in this episode.
Yeah,
Is
a special celebrity guest.
yeah. And he calls Smithers mate at one point. And when he's chained up at the end and he's asking Marge for help, he tells her to call Interpol, which made me wonder, where is Tom Jones from? Do you know? I looked it
I
up.
do not know, but I do have Wikipedia open, so I'll just type it in. But
It was
yeah,
surprising to me.
he's he called her love. He said call Interpol love.
Yeah,
So it's like definitely a UK thing.
yeah. But he doesn't really
Uh,
sound that English. But yeah,
he's Welsh.
Welsh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Which I forgot
He-
because my last name is Jones, and turns out Jones is traditionally a Welsh name. If you go back far enough,
Oh,
Jones does
okay.
come from Wales.
Yeah, he's from Treforest, Pontypridd, Wales.
That sounds like a place in Wales.
Mhm. Pontypridd is a town and a community in Rhondda Cynon Toff. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know how to pronounce all those
yeah.
words.
I'm taking your word for it that you're just reading this off of the Wikipedia page and not
I
making it
am.
up.
I'm not. It's in there towards the
No.
back.
Yeah, so Tom Jones, I only know from this, and then just the fact that he's sang songs in Las Vegas, and then Mars Attacks.
Yep, Mars Attacks is another thing that people know him from. Also, the Carlton dance in Fresh Prince.
That's a Tom Jones dance.
Yeah, it's not the song that Carlton
Yeah,
does dance to that everyone remembers is "It's Not Unusual," which is a Tom Jones song.
yeah. There you go. Maybe we'll write on that today. Right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I always mention about Mars Attacks is that people will remember like Armageddon and Deep Impact came out like the same year, and the volcano movies that came out in the same year. We forget that Mars Attacks and Original Gangsters came out the same year, in which Jim Brown and Pam Grier play a couple that have been separated for like 20 years or something, and come back together to save their children from aliens in one and street gangs in the other. But, yeah. Same year, 1998.
That is a very good piece of trivia. The only thing that I really remember about Mars Attacks that no one really mentions, Natalie
Yeah.
Portman was in it.
Really? I
Yeah.
gotta go back. I haven't watched it in a while.
She was the president's daughter, I believe.
Oh, aha. Yeah, I need to watch that movie this year. I'm watching Mars Attacks sometime this year.
Mars Attacks is a fun movie. It is like if we're ranking all the Tim Burton movies, that would definitely be above the middle.
Yeah. It's gotta
Like
be.
I can't say it would be like in the top, but
Mm,
definitely higher than average.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I put up there high. Definitely.
What's your
Top.
favorite Tim Burton movie?
I don't know. It's like the Batmans, but I don't know where they fit in with Mars Attacks. And then was it
Mine is
Edward
Big Fish.
Scissorhands? Big Fish is a good one. So I might go Big Fish, Batman, Mars Attacks. Maybe?
Pee Wee?
Oh yeah, I was gonna forget because Pee Wee is so a Pee Wee thing more than it's a Tim Burton thing, right? Even though he directed it, and I haven't watched that in a long time, but that's got to be up there. Maybe we'll have to do a Tim Burton revisit this year because yeah, I think the when Tim Burton gets way too Johnny Deppy, then I'm like, okay, I'm all right.
Yeah.
I can pass. But with all the non Johnny Depp stuff, I'm back in. But yeah, we have to decide tonight who wins, Lisa the Greek or Marge gets a job. Who
Lisa the Greek.
Lisa the Greek. Oh, I say Marge gets a job, and I was going to have the tiebreaker be whatever the people voted on, but did not get any votes yet. Although let me check the Twitch because there is a poll on Twitch right under the video right here. If you look down below, there's a poll there. Let me check and see if anyone voted in it.
No,
real quick.
I really hope someone was watching.
Yeah,
Like all we need is one voter.
we just need one vote.
You know, it would be really funny if we had 2 viewers and they also split.
Yeah. Yeah, no one's voted on our poll today. And on the Discord, the Simpsons Discord that I was on, I was going to post the poll there, but I'm not allowed to do that until I get more posting points or whatever to show that I'm not just some random bro. Which hopefully we'll hit next week. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to make an impassioned plea to the other one to pick. I guess just to make why I picked this one. A lot of it's the B story with Bart and the wolf was very funny and a very strong choice to have him be attacked and mauled by an actual wolf, and we get to see Groundskeeper Willie with his shirt off, and even the A story stuff. It's weird to have Marge being sexually harassed at work, and that Mr. Burns is the reason he gets over it is just that he sees that Homer loves her. Like they didn't really have a solution to the problem. They just were like, that's the end of the episode. So
yeah, that's one of the reasons why I didn't like this episode.
Yeah,
is I didn't feel like Mr. Burns felt Burnsy.
Yeah, it was weird how he was smitten with this lady, but we didn't lean into it too hard. Yeah, it could have been a lot weirder or
of course, if they had him lean into it too hard, that would make it creepy.
Yeah, exactly.
As this was funny sexual harassment.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to do, right? And yeah, I'm not talking about it. Like I don't know if I want to revisit the sexual harassment episode 5 years from now. So I think I'm gonna go with Lisa the Greek as our winner.
Okay, I was gonna say, you could always just leave the poll open and then wait for our audience to vote.
Yeah,
they have 5 years.
That's true. That's true. It doesn't really matter right now, but yeah.
And then if no one's voted on it, come 5 years, just flip a coin.
Yeah. We'll come back and rewatch this episode on YouTube and figure it out. I'm going Lisa the Greek because
Okay.
I can't let all these episodes take up too much space in my head. I got another 506 to talk about.
hmm
I guess put through 3 more that we aren't going to afford. It's 502. Got 502 more episodes to talk about before we get back to.
All right. Do you have the matchup for next week?
Yeah. So next week it's going to be Simpsons Safari versus Bart Star. I don't know what seasons those are from. I should have wrote those down somewhere. Simpsons Safari is a good one. I like that one.
The Simpsons Safari, Bart gets an elephant.
No, that's the one where they go to Africa. I think that's the one where Homer finds an old box of animal crackers from like 20 years earlier that had won a trip to Africa. And they're like, oh, I guess we'll have to honor it and send them to Africa. Which hopefully it's aged well from 2001. We'll see.
Yeah, that one is. It originally aired on. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But yeah, it is apparently the 265th episode that was created. I don't know why it's not written in terms of what season and
Oh yeah, it's weird how they do that. You just have to it's just written in text somewhere in
the 17th episode of season 12.
Yeah. So then we have to kind of figure that out. So yeah, so season 12, episode 17, Simpsons Safari, and then Bart Star, season 9, episode 6, which is another football one. So it's good. It's football season. Super Bowl's coming up next month, I guess.
Or the big game, I guess.
Yeah, that's right, the big game. Not to keep bringing up Reddit, but that is one of my favorite things about Reddit is that the Super Bowl subreddit isn't for the Super Bowl; it's for superb owls. That's very funny. Yeah, so that's it. That's our first. The Simpsons Bart-le, the Bart-le Royale.
This week's winner of the Bart-le Royal is Lisa the Greek.
Yeah,
congratulations. Season 3, episode 14.
Yeah.
You have survived. Marge gets a job. You have been eliminated, and now you're dead.
Yeah. Never watched it. It's been permadeath. No.
Oh man, this would be crazy if it was a permadeath thing for you, because it means that 10 years from now you could only watch one episode of The Simpsons.
Well, I'd still have 17 more seasons that I could watch. I can only watch.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah. I think maybe first round it wouldn't matter. Because I mean, how much time do we have to rewatch all of these Simpsons again? 10 years over the next 10 years. We're gonna watch all these. Then we're gonna watch them again. How many more times before we die? Can't be that many.
I don't know. I guess it depends on how many times we try and do like the thing that FX did when they moved The Simpsons to FXX, and then they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna play The Simpsons straight through.
Yeah. Just tune in and watch it whenever you feel like it. That's a great idea. It should just be a Simpsons channel. I think people would watch that. I'd watch it.
Even if they don't have it on TV, they should have it on like Roku or something.
Yeah, there should be a Simpsons channel on Pluto TV. They already have a Baywatch channel. I know that.
I know that. The Baywatch channel I think is also on Samsung TV.
Oh, yeah. There's a little overlap with that, and whatever. I think I have a Samsung. Yeah, my smart TV is a Samsung. I think. Is it one of the Korean companies? I forgot. That sounds right. Anyways, we're gonna write out on the clip of the Carlton dance from it's an hour and 20 minute and 24 seconds. I'll watch some of it. So good night on the internet. Thank you, Chad, for doing this. We'll start booking guests after this week. It'll be easier after this week. I think everyone's getting settled in to the new year.
Yeah, see? It's Tom Jones.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I think literally this was